I'm coming to you guys today to talk to you about 3 reasons why ladies usually, or gentlemen, usually fall off the bandwagon of their natural hair journey, but also 3 tips on how you guys can stay on and be successful in your journey. One thing that throws people off is the fact that, okay, when we're transitioning, and I was relaxed for at least 10 years of my life. So when we're relaxed, we're used to certain products. And a lot of times, though, those products may not have a high water content, or let's just say we'll throw it back, or we're used to just using grease on our hair, which grease is just a sealant. And if you remember back in the day, you was running from rain, you want no parts of water because you knew your hair would revert back. So pretty much, when you're trying to go natural, or when you're on the journey to going natural, you have to remember, part of what comes with it is a reevaluation of your products. Maybe there are some good products that are already in your regime or regimen that will be able to transition with you. But a lot of times we have to go and we have to look at the ingredients, because those same ingredients that may have helped us preserve that straighter look will not keep us when we're natural. It will actually be really detrimental. You'll start seeing breakage and just all these really breakage, dryness, just really discouraging things. And I've seen so many women go back just off of that, just because they thought they could keep their products as they were transitioning, and it didn't work out. They were like, oh, my hair breaks off. Well, why? Because you've been starving your hair. If you maintain your hair in a straight state, and you're not used to deep conditioning it weekly, or putting in hydrating products into it, you've been starving your hair. You've been your hair is thirsting for hydration. So as you're going natural, you have to reevaluate that. Don't be afraid to put water in your hair. Your hair will love you for that. And you will start to see your hair prosper more. What water is going to do, it's going to allow it to be more elastic. It's going to give it that bounce back. It's going to allow it to, just be healthier. And so when you're going natural, check your products. Make sure they're hydrating, and make sure you get yourself on a regimen that is going to be more hydrating, because it's a change in your mindset. We're not straight no more. Or if you are going to be a straight natural, transition curly first and then evaluate after you transition curly. It will definitely give you the most optimal hair once you're done transitioning, if you do transition as a curly girl first. Also, you'll get to know your hair better. You'll get to know what it likes, what it doesn't like, prior to, straightening it. And, and I have nothing against straight naturals. Everybody, they can do them. It's their prerogative. But I will say, it will be best for your journey to transition as a curly girl, and then make that decision once you transition, and once you do your big chop or little chop, however long you've grown out your hair, and then, you cut those remaining relaxed ends off. The next thing that I've seen men and women do that's such a disservice to themselves is using improper technique. Now, when you use a comb when you're relaxed, or with straight hair, usually you comb from the root to the tip. What happens when you comb from the root to the tip is that you're creating breakage. Because what happens as you grow out your hair, you have what's called a line of demarcation. And on that line of demarcation, it's kind of like where two fronts meet. It's your relaxed hair and it's your curly hair. And yes, they're on the same strand, but they're not really good friends next to each other. So when I big chopped, I actually big chopped, I think, about 3 or 4 months after transitioning. So for me, I didn't have too much length. When it comes to my curly hair, I actually probably only had like 1.5 inches of hair once I chopped my hair off. But what I do think that served me in chopping it off so early was that I didn't risk um, the amount of time I would be, you know, trying to integrate both of those hair textures in my routine. I was doing perm rod sets and twist outs and braid outs to keep the texture, you know, kind of more uniform as it was growing out. But overall, I think what really helped me was understanding that that line of demarcation was so delicate, and that the biggest thing that I could do, because my products were pretty decent, but the biggest thing I could do was change my mindset around combing my hair. So no longer was I going to comb from up down, I was going to comb down and then up. And quick tip, you should always, always, always comb your hair with some kind of lubricating, whether you're spritzing it with water first, like an oil and water solution first, and you should start from the bottom up, because combing your hair dry as you're going natural, that's a no-no. That is a big, big, big reason why naturals and even those that have relaxed hair will see breakage, because even when your hair is straight, remember, it's still growing out. So if you're a month, 2, 3, 4, even 6 months, however long between relaxers, you have that new growth that still needs the tender love and care that you would give natural hair. You'll also decrease knots, or fairy knots as we like to call them as well. And yeah, you'll have a much smoother journey. So, and my last point that I want to bring up to you guys is really you know, it's a really serious one. You know, there's products and there's styling, but there's also life. Life can get in the way of so many people's journeys, and life is going to happen. But sometimes we really need to evaluate at certain points in our lives, when is it okay to really take on another journey? It's so important, and even thinking back to my own journey, it's so important to see where you're at. You know, it's a butterfly. It's so important to see where you're at. I was in college. I was going through a really tough time, tough relationship, and it was just a time of change and transition for me. And I think part of that change was going to take place through my hair, and I was ready for it though, because it actually, my mindset around my hair changed prior to the difficulties I had around the time that I was going natural. Thankfully in college, I took this wonderful Black women course, and it really inspired me to really challenge myself on my views around my hair. I'll insert some pictures on how I looked at that point. So around that time, like I said, I was going through a lot, between relationships, between school, between some internal conflicts I was having, and I took it upon myself to carry on my journey. Like I said, I started the mental transition prior to those difficulties, and so I took it upon myself to still fulfill my journey despite all those things. However, sometimes what comes with the journey isn't just about the action. There are things that happen to you after or during, even during the transition process, where it takes a lot out of you, and or it's just energy that you may need for the now, for you in the now. What I ask you guys to do is just evaluate where you are prior to making this change or transitioning in your life, because there's emotional change that comes with it. I had to go back home at the time, and I had a different mindset around myself, around my hair, around my pride, concerning my hair. And for me, I was met with some positive feedback and also very negative feedback. I love my grandmother, but she is also of an older crowd that it was truly almost a life or death situation when it came to her looks, when it came to passing, when it came to was your hair too nappy. Um, you know, they had things like the brown paper bag test, and thankfully things aren't as bad today as it was back when my grandmother was coming up, but the things she was conditioned to believe about herself, she projected out on me and telling me about my hair and how I needed to look prettier wearing it straight, how I could not compete with other women from other races because my hair was not straight, how I did not look nice. And so I had to have the mental fortitude to know within myself that I was doing the right thing for me. And so I just tell you guys that when you're taking on any journey in your life, it's important to evaluate where you are, how much you're able to take on mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Luckily, being a naturalista, it's not a financial burden, or at least it shouldn't be, unless you're a product junkie. Then you might have some problems. But when it comes down to it, you got to do what's right for you when it's right for you. Don't let anyone convince you that you need to go natural right then and there. Don't let anyone tell you how to go natural if it doesn't resonate with you. Okay? Because this is your journey, this is your path, and you are the keeper of it. I hope that you receive this information with the peace and love and care that I wish to convey it to you in. And yeah, so I'll be coming to you guys with more videos soon. It's really tackling, you know, really anything with hair, transitioning, social things, social political things. Yeah, I want to do much more of that for you guys. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future videos, place them in the comment section below and I will get to your comments. I love you guys for commenting. Please subscribe, like, thumbs up these videos, you know, and let's keep it positive here. So peace out, guys, till next time.